572-0383 and 572-0215. Rev-Up St. Lucia, the alpha of radio.
Pick up your phone for the Love Zone on Rev-Up St. Lucia. We're here to entertain ya. 97.1 FM. That's our frequency. Heard on Tuesdays with Andre, Shamark, and Nikki. Hot topics for the lovers. It's a show like no other, the Love Zone. From 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Tell a neighbor, tell a friend. The Love Zone. The Love Zone. The Love Zone.
Hello there. Good morning, good afternoon, good night to our listeners and to our viewers in St. Lucia and across the globe, especially those of you on Facebook, on YouTube, and also on X. Thanks for checking us out. This is the Love Zone for today, Tuesday, the 27th of May, 2025. My name is Andre Paul, the co-host of the show. To my immediate left, none other than the lovely Nikki. Nikki, good morning.
Good morning, good afternoon, good night to all our listeners. Good morning to you, Andre and Shamark. I trust that all is well with you and that you had a wonderful weekend and you're ready to face another great day. I hope that your week is going well thus far. Again, it's wonderful being back here. It's amazing how time flies. You know, it's like we're here and then we're back sooner than. I just have a couple shout outs.
Sure.
Thank you. I want to say happy birthday greetings in advance to a beautiful, special lady. Her name is Malaika Augustine. She's celebrating her birthday tomorrow. Wishing you God's eternal blessings and guidance, Malaika. Continue to stay the beautiful and wonderful woman that you are. Very inspiring to me. You know, really great personality, and she's just awesome. So, my dear, wishing you many, many, many happy, prosperous, and healthy birthdays, Malaika. Enjoy to the fullest. I just want to say hello to Julia, Mr. Morgan, Hyacinth, Honorata, Manuel and his wife, and Miss Mary, and everybody else. Hello. Special hello to everybody. And I just want to say that it's good being back here. So thanks, as always, Andre.
Okay, Nikki, no problem. So just give us a little update on your many dogs, cats, and those that you'd like to share with the public.
Well,
how's that going?
The puppies are still with me. They're becoming more and more challenging to take care of. I love them, yes, but then the reality is that it's challenging to take care of them. So I am hoping that, you know, I will get good homes for them. That is my greatest desire now at this moment.
How many more do you have to
I have
sell?
four. I have four of them, yes.
And how
Still
many
four.
did you have before that?
Five.
Oh my God. So you only sold one?
I only sold one. Only one person. Mr. Lee, how are you? How is Rex doing? He's taking such good care of it. He sends videos and the dog is growing so rapidly, it's not funny.
Yes. That's nice. Okay, well, we wish you all the best. Again,
Thank
Nikki,
you,
feel free to give your number. It's not a problem.
Alrighty, thank you again. My number is 732-6054. 732-6054. So if you're interested, please feel free to call and let's talk dog. Yes.
Now, folks, before we start the show, I have a recording of Nikki, who's better known as Alley Cat. That's a stage name. And I think it's such a cute song. I love it. Just give us maybe 60 seconds of it, Nikki.
Sure.
How do you feel when you listen to your voice?
I'm like, is that me?
meaning it sounds so good?
Yeah, I guess. Yes.
Folks, that's our very own Nikki Edmonds. Stage name, Alley Cat.
Despite all the challenges of 2020, it was a great year for me. While COVID was making everybody crazy, I break out musically. I team We had a good vibe together, but we mixed business with pleasure.
Oh God.
A big mistake beyond measure. The music started to suffer because the man was a bluffer. Look, the reason why I stayed so long, I go tell you straight up. In my song, the music had me. All the romance was a fake. The music had me. That is why I take and take. The music had me. Man, I tell you, I was hooked.
So now she take a break.
Andre.
Well done, Nikki.
Thank you.
Well done. I love it. You sound so cute when you sing.
Oh, thank you. I'm happy you can catch your kicks on
That's
this, you know.
that's the total contrast when you give me talk here on the show.
You tell me. Yeah, we know.
Anyway, let's introduce the handsome Shamark. Shamark, good morning to you.
Good morning, Shanisha. Good morning, Nikki.
Good morning to you,
Andre.
Shamark.
Mm-hmm. All is on your side, Shamark?
Yes, I'm good.
All right, wonderful. All right, last week we had a couple of calls with people bringing up this personality trait or disorder, narcissism.
Yes.
And we've been doing the show for a while, and this has come up so often, right? We've had a number of females especially calling in and talking about the experiences with narcissists. I wonder if it's more predominant, in males than females. I wonder, because usually it's the ladies that are the ones complaining about this personality disorder. So Nikki took up the challenge, and she decided now to have a topic on this particular matter. So Nikki, how did you phrase it?
The narcissist.
Yeah.
Yes. The narcissist.
Mm-hmm. All right. So let me just kick it off by describing the sort of personality. A narcissist, particularly someone with narcissistic personality disorder, is a personality disorder characterized by a lifelong pattern of exaggerated feelings of self-importance, an excessive need for admiration, and this is the one that really scares me, a diminished ability to empathize with other people's feelings. So let me repeat this. A narcissist, particularly someone with narcissistic personality disorder, is a personality disorder characterized by a lifelong, hear that? Lifelong. Almost sounds like the person can't get any help.
Boy.
Lifelong pattern of exaggerated feelings of self-importance, an excessive need. Imagine, listen to these verbs describing exaggerated, excessive, right? Excessive need for admiration and a diminished ability to empathize with other people's feelings. And as I said, that's the one that really concerns me the most. But nonetheless, we hope to go over all of them. So this is what the personality is like. And we're opening up the lines as early as possible. So anytime, folks, feel free to call us at 572-9710, 572-9710, or WhatsApp 287-0971. WhatsApp is 287-0971. And disturb us at any time. Now, I have to admit that some of these behaviors, for example, feelings of self-importance, need for admiration, okay? To me, I have a little of that in me.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
You have to. But remember, with these people, the narcissists, it's exaggerated. It's overly. You know what I mean? It's over the limit. And that is where it becomes dangerous and problematic. So we need to have a sense of self-importance. There's a need for admiration. But with these people, I think it's a craving. You know, like they have to get it. It must be given. And so when they don't get it, then they become out of control. They become abusive and what have you.
So Shamark, would you agree that we all have a little of these traits? Yeah?
I would think so. I think sometimes we do and we're not aware of it, or maybe we're dating somebody that have it and we're not aware of it. It's just somebody maybe looking on the sidelines that might see that behavior and they might pull it up, and then you might be in denial and say no. But I think it's a lot to deal with when you come across people like that, especially if you're in a long long-term relationship with the person, you know, or sometimes you realize that, and even just bringing it up to the person's attention, some people might take offense to it because to them they don't have a problem, but then it's there and it's affecting the persons around you.
And that is why they don't change, because they do not think that, there's a problem. And when you bring it up to their attention, they become very defensive, abusive, they become vindictive and spiteful. And so that is where change does not come in, you see? Because if you think that there's nothing the matter with you, then you're not going to seek help, or you're not going to acknowledge that, okay, there's something wrong and I need to try to, address it. And so you just continue, and then you perpetuate that kind of behavior. Now just imagine having to be in constant contact with these people. If you're not very strong mentally, and if you don't have a strong, grounding, then it can affect you profoundly, which is most definitely the case in a lot of situations.
So as I said, I was asking myself, do I have those tendencies? So I think we all agree to some degree it can be healthy, a healthy thing.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Also, it's important to find out, where does this personality emanate?
Well, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Without cutting you short. I discovered through, like a little research that parenting, okay, like, believe it or not, I mean, it's really sad, but the way, like children were parented, that actually makes them into a narcissist. They're not born that way. So that is very scary. And unfortunately, some of the parents who actually contribute to the child becoming that way are not even aware of it. It's just sad, and scary too.
Yes, I think I read about like feelings of being rejected, neglected. Neglected is another one.
Yeah, overindulgent.
Yes, and a lack of support and so on. So again, we've discussed this many, many times on the show already, that a lot of our issues go back to our childhood, how we were brought up and so on. And again, a very important issue that we need to realize, that being a parent, it's not something that we're just born with. Apparently, there's certain things that we just need to know about parenting, and if we do not know, then we can do a lot of harm.
Yep.
Yeah. So would you? Because again, when I read about this, I'm saying, I wonder if I ever dated anybody like that. All right. I wonder if I ever dated somebody who had that kind of behavior.
Maybe
and I can't recall.
So in love, he was not aware.
That's a possibility. Yeah,
That's the other thing, yes.
But funny enough, you say parenting, because I think sadly, is when I get a bit older as a teenager, I realized, like, a day I told my mom that, I say, parenting is not just giving people breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Nope.
There's more to it, And she took offense, but I was like, there's more to it, because a lot of parents feel because they give me breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That's all. Especially, we have a lot of single parents out there. The women just think that's what it is. So, and I think it adds a lot, as you see, in parenting. I think one of the scariest things for me was almost like parents used to remind you that your father was not there. But to me, like in my mind, I used to say that. In my mind, I say in the B-word, I say, but to me, you're not going to look for hungry man. That's why I'm in poverty now. In my mind, I say, no, but I can see that in real life, you understand? But parents do that, and they keep throwing it in your face your whole life. Papa, papa, and then all of these things kind of adds up, and then you become somebody else that you're not, because I just, funny enough, you saying that when you think of parenting, that's like a job. I don't even think when you finish there, you need to get a degree from doing it, because it's not just breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You have to listen. I think even sometimes just when the child leaves home, you don't see the child for hours, and by the time you get home, some of these kids maybe already sleeping, so there's no communication, so there's no form of parenting. So what do you do within that gap? How do you feel in that gap?
Beanie Man is going through some issues with his daughter. I don't know how many daughters he has, but there's a particular one. He has some issues with her, and she came out in public, basically chastising him. Wow. Now he felt really, really hurt, because he didn't expect his daughter to be sort of embarrassing him. But she said something. She said, being a parent is not only about paying school fees. That's what she said.
That's almost like what I said.
That's exactly what you were saying.
Which is true.
Okay, being a parent is not only about paying school fees. So maybe in Beanie Man's mind, well, I'm being a parent, I'm taking care of you, I'm paying your school fees.
He buying all these expensive things when he traveled on his trip. So maybe there was not a connection because as an artist, he was maybe so busy at the studio, all of that.
Yes.
He maybe just call and say, are you okay there? Say a little phrase.
If he even did
and
that.
that's it. So at that time, that's what I'm saying. So most times we disconnect from our parents. I tell you, growing up, it was very hard to tell our mothers the easy thing as I love you, because you never received that. Easy thing like saying Happy Mother's Day, like you coming by the bedroom door, you say, Softly la. You know, the girl making you jump, you know, but that's what you come and say. But you stammer it by just saying that. So it's one thing, it's not about us paying school fees and giving you breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Right.
You want more.
Mm-hmm.
So we put more time into our romances as parents instead of putting time into our children. And I always believe, like, I have a sister, I have some beautiful nieces and nephews. I say you need to put in the time, because this is almost like taking a loan. You're going to reap the benefit later on in the future. Because you hear some children now, as they grow up, they think, I have nothing to do with that woman. I have nothing to do with that man. But you cannot judge them because you did not know what was the relationship in growing up as children. It was disconnected. You just know that's your mother and your father. But where was it? There was never there, that connection. It just wasn't there. They was not involved enough.
And all of that causes the child to become narcissistic because it's a survival skill that they learn. It's an instinctual thing where I have to protect myself, and so they develop these personality traits and things like that. And then we look at them all weird and bad, but no, if you go back, if you trace back more.
So is it a
often than
situation?
not,
Is it like you just create a new personality altogether?
that too, yeah, because you have to protect yourself. And if you dig deep in the narcissist, you will see how hurt and weak and frail they are. You know, they exude that self-confidence.
So it's like you
fake.
create a wall?
Yeah, that's what it is.
And it's true. I find a lot of parents, I think Shamark was going there a while ago, find it very, very hard to praise their children. Okay, I don't know why it's so difficult to praise
why?
them.
It's
Funny
a
enough, you said
control
praise, and the
thing.
next thing to the worst thing, they just compare their children.
Yes.
Or
to the neighbors.
sometimes, yesterday I was speaking to someone, I said the worst thing sometimes I used to feel embarrassed when if you do something or if a friend of your mother comes by, they're discussing it in the person right in your face like you don't even exist. Like if you beat me for something I did, I think for a piece of meat, like come on. And then funny enough, you sit back and you realize, like I tell my sister, what your kids are doing now, yes, it's wrong, but it's not nothing you did not do. Don't pretend like you did not do it and make them embarrass them to the core and do all of that, or you tired and all of that. Like, come on.
You
We
know
just have
what?
to exercise a little more patience.
I believe one of the biggest downfalls of parenting is that that control thing, that power thing. Like a lot of them, they use their authority, all right, to belittle and demean and suffocate children. And I don't think they do it intentionally. I think it was passed on to them. And so, again, it's awareness. And that is where programs like ours come in, you know, so that we can try to at least break the ice.
So I think both of us are parents, right, Nikki? So
Yes.
let's just talk about that for a second. Why is it so hard for us to lift our children's spirits and their self-esteem and so on? Is it that we do not know how important it is, or we just feel that we shouldn't do it because it'll make them feel too good and it'll spoil them? Is that how we're thinking?
Some people, that's exactly how they think, but I believe that it has a lot to do with how we were brought up. Like, you see, based on how you were parented, that will determine largely how you parent. And I'm just saying that.
I get your point.
All right? You, okay, may have been parented in a particular way. I was parented in a particular way. But then we can get to a level where we realize, but to me, I will not want to parent my child like that, and we can break away from it. But some people, because of the fact that it held so deeply in their psyche, then they parent exactly how they were parented. I mean, honestly, if I could go back, right, in time, I would never beat my two daughters. I did, but I would never. I was beaten as a child, but I would never beat them.
And you're not only beaten, sorry to bring it up again, Nikki, but that experience with your father having to put you out of the
I mean,
house
that was crazy. I don't know. I mean, an intelligent man like that doing that, but
exactly.
You know,
exactly.
It's crazy. To me, that was not the answer. It was traumatic. It had lasting effects, but I'm happy I'm here. and I can speak, on the experience and guide people along, It just goes to show, the control, the authority, you know what I mean, that they exercise, and sometimes it's wrongly put out.
So tell me, was your father, we're talking about making your children feel good and so on, because I know for sure I didn't really get that at my home, to be honest with you. It was more put down.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
You can't do this, you can't do that. You have two left hands, you have two left foot, and things like that. That's what you would hear. So my self-esteem, that was crushed. I took a long time in my teens and later in life, probably my mid-20s going to early 30s. That's when I began to realize that something was wrong. I needed to work on my self-esteem.
Is it a situation that it makes you feel like you're not good enough?
Well, yeah, to some degree, right?
Yeah.
Because I feel as though I couldn't do anything right. Yeah, that's what it was.
They reinforce that so much.
Yeah.
So then you
I used to be so nervous because I was said,
Exactly.
you have two left feet, you have two hands.
You accept
And it's funny you saying, and I think sometimes as parents, I don't have kids, but you've been around people with kids, and when sometimes you try to not to say nothing because people say, but for me, that's not funny. For me, if a child does something, the first thing the parents do is they'll bring out the negative, highlight the positive, and say then so and so. So they make you feel down, and then they just leave it right there, and they figure because they're a parent, I can, of course you can say it, but there's ways and means you say stuff because it's going to leave a mark, and you would wonder why you and your daughter or your son is not distant. And you can realize kids sometimes, they're closer maybe to the mother or the father for the same situations we discussed in there.
I wanna reinforce. I really wanna hammer this. That is why I believe, that unless we resolve certain issues, having a child or children is the absolute worst thing to do.
True.
Now, the thing is that I have learned, from research, that when a soul has to experience a physical encounter, it will happen. Two people will come together to produce that child. But I'm telling you, I just wish that we had more say in having kids, because I'm telling you, it's not an easy thing. Certain people should just not have children, period, because they're just not, they're not good parents. And I can speak for myself. I try to be as honest as I possibly can here, because I want to help people. That is why I use my personal experiences. So what I can say is that in certain areas of parenting, I flopped big time. For example,
we all do, and by the way, we all do.
Yes.
Because it's a learning experience for all of us.
It's true.
The problem is that in some cases it is extreme in terms of how we mess up. Yeah.
And so I can safely say that there are certain things I did that I should not have done, right? We just have to be more aware. Remember that your child is not you. Don't ever try to make the child live through you. All right, this is a separate human being.
That is such a, say that again. That's such a strong point.
Don't try to make the child live through you. Don't do that. You have your dreams, the child has theirs. If your dreams were not fulfilled, do not push the child to fulfill your dreams. That is wrong and not right. So we need to keep in mind that yes, the child came from you, but this is a spirit being experiencing a physical encounter. All right, don't try to say, well, you know what, I want you to become a musician, I want you to become a basketball player. No, you have no right to do that. You can encourage the child, but don't try to make it happen. What you're doing is that you're dampening a part of the child, and when people revolt, it's not good.
I believe you, because the parents get disappointed in the end, and they're thinking that you didn't listen or you were disobedient. No, I think each child, each human being has their own destiny. Sometimes it just happened. You find a house, Grosley had a house. The mother was the teacher, the father was the teacher. Everybody was a teacher in the family. I was like, wow. The absent show, we have parents.
So wow.
Everybody is a lawyer. You understand? And it just happened naturally because your reflection is supposed to inspire your kids. Now, even though they don't become a lawyer, it's not that you didn't do a good job. Just that they wanted something different. Now, some parents, their reflections are so strong that as a child, the children already mimicking their parents. You understand? And then you get some. It's nice. It's beautiful. You feel good. You feel like, oh wow, I achieved something. Bravo to you. But I don't think you have to push it down people's throat. A simple for like when I used to fight with my sexuality growing up, I used to go to church. The parents are Christians, and you see those they forced in, and if you don't go to church, they make a big deal and all of that. And then guess what, Andrea and Nikki? When these children reach 25, 26 like that, look for them in the church. They out of their potato, like the young lady saying.
Yeah.
Because you force, if I don't want to come this Sunday, that's okay. Because it's like you forcing me to be somewhere I do not want to be. And then that's why now when you look around, you see all these congregations and you see more females. You just see a lot of hats and it's like, where are the men? Where are the kids? No, seriously. Because sometimes you want to force people. It's okay that you want to be your child to serve God, to follow you and stuff like that. And if I get a child doesn't come, maybe they just want to stay home and read a book or something like that. You can encourage them, but it's not something you have to force people. You go some instance, you throw the person out of the house because they don't want to come to church.
Yes.
So what example are you setting as a parent? That's love? I don't think it is. You understand?
Exactly.
So all of these things created, as parents, I believe, and I'll use my sister as Nikki as an example, we create the monsters and then they fit into society. And then we look to blame them. But the monsters were created by the parents. And now you want to call Ghostbusters, you have to deal with it.
And that's exactly what we're talking about today.
It's very scary.
Yes.
Every time I think about the fact that parents create these children, intentionally or not, it's very scary. People can say whatever they want, but it's scary. And if you look around you, you will see a lot of them. They are there among us. And then they grow up and then you get with them. You date them and then you realize, oh my goodness, what have I gotten myself into? And let me tell you, we're just scraping the surface, of this narcissist thing.
Now,
We're
can you
scraping
imagine
the surface.
a narcissist who is in power? Okay,
That's not a trouble.
that person, controls the wheels of government and so
He might
on.
be breeding narcissists.
Or even in a church as well.
Yes.
Okay, the
And they
leadership
are
of
there.
a church.
They are there. I'm telling
Imagine
you.
a person having power on their side, and they again the whole thing about exaggerated feelings of self-importance. So and also the excessive need for admiration.
It's fun you say that about the church. I don't know if you ever come across these African stories on YouTube. And there was just this pastor, I think basically to me that was the behavior. He was employing beautiful women or helping the women in the church, and he would use his power to take advantage of them.
Yep.
And then eventually he ended up infecting the young ladies with HIV. Yes, and you would never tell. And the funny thing about, I think, people with those behaviors is almost like they know how to mask it. Yes. So
And
you would
look up to
never
them.
tell. Exactly.
They're
You would never
very
tell.
charismatic,
And
they're
the whole
charming.
congregation was disappointed.
Wow.
Imagine you using your mind, to do that kind of thing. I mean,
So it's important for us as parents to ensure that we make our children feel important.
Definitely.
Yeah?
I think so.
Because this is the
You know why, Andre? Because if you don't, especially for young men and women, if you don't feel important as a child, guess what? The neighbor would make you feel important.
That's
that
right.
guy on the job would make you feel important.
Yes.
And you will stray away from your parents and you'll go where you feeling important.
Like
and
the-
then not
it's
that
not
the person
necessarily
really want to
genuine,
not that the person really want, the person sometimes just want to deceive you. And then that's why sometimes it is important. Stop comparing. I think as comparing children, sometimes our mother is to compare us maybe to the neighbor. I'm like, huh? Are you serious?
But Shamark, you forgot to mention the gangs.
Yes,
but that's what
you
it
get
is,
that. You get that love from your gangs. Yeah, boss
feel
man.
it.
What you say that
Yes.
you just
You feel
feeling
it.
Yes, they make you feel
like
important.
they say they're vibing out there, but there's no vibe between the
no, the
parents.
thing is, it's really sad because just imagine you're not getting the genuine love that you truly deserve to help you become a better human being, right? You're supposed to get that from your parents. You're not getting it. And so you're lacking. You feel that you're not enough. As Shamark rightly said, okay, wherever or whomever that feeling is felt, you will gravitate. And it's not necessarily that is going to benefit you.
Mm-hmm.
But because of the fact that you're lacking, and you start to gravitate to somebody or a particular place where there are people who make you feel what you're not feeling, that in and of itself will pull you to there.
And let me add, not feeling or getting from your parents.
Yes.
That's where it's supposed to start. So it's important that we make our children feel important. My last little daughter used to say to me, like, she come from school and she showed me what she did for the day, and she said to me, "Daddy, you proud of me?" Always ask me, "Daddy, you proud of me?" So it just goes to show that this is important.
They want it.
It's
They
important
want
to
it.
them.
So you see, everybody craves a little admiration, right?
Yes.
Now just imagine you just downing the child. The child will feel, oh my goodness, I'm not good enough. Or just imagine you're overindulging. Oh my goodness, but like you're so good. And
Yes.
you know what these parents do? The day you see the child does something that's not in their good books, they down them, and that crushes the child. Okay, they feel like, oh my God, but I thought I was so good. Why would my mother or my father say
A
that
perfect
to me?
example for common
so-
entrance and stuff like that. They praising the child all the time. Oh my God. One common entrance coming, they put in that fear in the children, or
Yeah.
if you did not do well, or maybe you did not go
This
to the
will
school they was
happen and,
expecting. And so that child now create that wall. You're afraid, you in a dilemma. You
That
don't even
causes
know
them
what's
to
going
fail, The
Definitely.
fear alone.
Yeah.
It scares
Now,
them.
funny enough, in some instances, I think a 2% or maybe a 5% does not always mean the parents create the kids or to grow up to be a narcissist, because what would happen, love come in different packages. Andre can maybe afford to give his child, because my mother can show me love by scrubbing my bag I had from last year because she can't afford a new one. And I'm coming home and I seen that Nikkie's parents give her a new bag and stuff like that. And guess what? The mother is so passionate, that poor parent is so passionate, giving that child all that love, scrubbing that bag, maybe take a loan to put the new books in the used bag. And at that time, you're feeling like your parents don't love you, or they
Because
don't
they
give you that
couldn't buy you a new
attention.
bag.
So it has to do with the
It's true.
children too, that we have to learn how to appreciate
Perception,
our parents, because not love comes in different packages and we have parents in different level, but
you have
love
to talk to the
love is the
child.
same. Love doesn't have category. But sometimes you talk to them, but they let what they see around them
That is
deceive
so
them.
sad.
Yeah.
And that is where we have to tell the child that listen. I know that you're seeing these things. I know that I'm not able to afford it, but what I am doing for you is from the goodness of my heart. I love you. If you say it and the child does not pick up on it, then I don't know. The child, there's something that's just there's something wrong. Ideally speaking, if you mean it, the child will pick up on it. The energy, if you're giving it out and it's genuine, the child will pick up on it. Children can feel love. Okay, they can. Sometimes they don't feel it because maybe there's something outside. Okay, but generally speaking, but what you're saying makes sense, because it's not every child that was made to be a narcissist. No, there are certain factors that contribute.
I think what the parents have to put in them is that level of being content with what you have, being satisfied. Because growing up, we were sleeping, maybe the house was the side of the studio, sleeping on the floor. It's fun, putting your cabin on the line, everything like that. And my mother always used to say, one day. And guess what? Now, our family home and 3-bedroom house that both says, nobody's in it.
You see?
So it did not stay the same way. You understand? Look at me now. Glow sequence didn't kill. We didn't grow up in the macaroni and cheese and stuff like that.
I think it makes me taller.
Maybe. So the point I'm trying to make is sometimes my mother was always instilling one day it will change, and maybe on a Sundays you used to get the good meal. And I think for some parents, like you said earlier on, it's very hard now. I'll tell parents out there, put that energy into your children, because I think sometimes my mother was trying really hard. As you get older, you see the love, but I think some of the things she maybe did not have it to give because she maybe did not receive it from her mother. So she was doing the best she could
With
sometimes
what she had, yes.
with what she had, and although it could have been better, but sometimes for some people like me, as you grow up, you could have seen it and then you know it, so you try to, whatever your mother did not do, you complete it on your own.
Okay, we have a call. Let me just give the numbers again. The fixed line is 572-9710. Fixed line is 572-9710. Or you can WhatsApp 287-0971. WhatsApp is 287-0971. Today we're talking about the narcissist. As our first caller. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Andre. Good morning, Shamark. Good morning, Nikki.
sir.
Good morning to you, sir.
our
Thanks for
our
calling.
friend.
Yes, indeed.
Hey, Nikki, congratulations on your new song. Huh?
Thank
I
you,
love it.
sir. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Hey, Shamark, I hear you. Good morning, Shamark.
Good morning, sir. Morning. Yes, we did.
Okay, yeah. Thanks for accepting my calls. Huh?
You're welcome.
Welcome.
You see, to me, when a child become what the name?
Narcissist.
Narcissist
Yes.
is when I believe we are trying to excuse me, is when we are mistaking ruling on and control over discipline.
Wonderful. That's
Because I believe there is a difference between discipline, ruling, and control. Because I can, from a personal point of view, I remember my son, my first child. I wanted him to be a mechanic. Now he wanted to be a policeman. And he didn't either become a policeman, he didn't get any one of them. He became a professional laborer. I didn't look down on him. Yeah.
wonderful.
My daughter, I wanted her to become a nurse. And she tried. At the end, she told me she cannot become a nurse because she's allergic to blood and needles.
Ah,
And she became an accountant.
you see?
You see, I didn't control, I didn't rule her, I didn't bring her down on this thing.
That's right.
You understand? You understand?
Yeah.
I believe that is what happening when those children or child become these narcissists, Andre. When you are
Very
trying to
well.
overrule,
Mm-hmm.
over control those children instead of disciplining them.
Yep. Dominance.
Your dominance.
Yeah. With love, with love. Disciplining with love.
With love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because a lot of us discipline out of anger.
Yeah, indeed.
You understand? Now, when you discipline your child with anger, like you are trying to, because that's the worst time to make decision is when you're angry, you know.
True. You can hurt them too because
And when you are
beat
trying
them,
to
yeah.
discipline your children with anger, it's like the scene you are trying to control them, like demanding certain things from them.
Yes. Yep. Very
Yes,
true.
sir.
Very true.
Yeah.
You know, very,
Okay,
very
thank
good.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Thank
You know,
you.
since he brought up, that point concerning, control, discipline, and ruling, right? I remember one time, Andre, on one of the radio programs that you were on, right? There was a man who called. I cannot remember what topic it was, but the man called, and the man said every time he saw a tamarind tree, he would go back to when his stepfather would beat him with tamarind
I remember
whips.
that
And
discussion.
the man cried so much. Let me tell you, when I heard that, I broke down. I thought like my heart would break. I felt so, I don't know. I felt, and this man, I'm telling you, I don't know who he is. I hope that he's okay. But you could hear the hurt. And that resonated with me. And I'm like, these caregivers, I mean, some of them, they really, I think they operate from a place of hurt themselves. And so they dish all that hurt out onto people. And
I wonder if that our parenting skills have improved over the years. With
Some people
all the
say no.
information that's available now,
some people say,
I wonder
no.
if we've made any, great headway in parenting.
Yes and no. I think what happened, people become... Back in the days, people used to become parents younger, but I think they was more aggressive in trying to get it right. They was missing out something. But now they become younger, and I think they focus on the wrong thing. Because when you tell him, how is your son? The child maybe 2 years, a big man I have there. And you see these young people as parents, and they still did not complete the journey of being a teenager or a young woman, and now they have a child. So it's almost like they're raising these children like
in the mind of a
a
child.
trophy baby, a trophy child to show off and stuff like that. And they're missing out on all the right things to make that masterpiece to put out there in the universe. So I would say yes and no.
But what
We have a
what I
caller.
heard-
We have a
Mhm,
call.
sure.
Yeah, we'll continue the discussion in just a moment. Thanks for calling. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning
Hello
to
there.
you. Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
So, I'm good. I will answer that question the last question. Do our parents?
Have we improved?
What was the question?
Have we improved as parents? Yes.
Well, for me, I know 100% I have improved, and that topic is so strong, and the fact that it's really just based on the parents and how we raise our children. My mom, like Shamark was saying, so many things that resonate with me. Parents don't know how to say nice things to their children. From my knowledge or memory, I have no memory of my mom said she loved me or she hugged me. Maybe she did, but I don't have any memory. But as a parent now, I had to work really hard. Nikki also said she wished she didn't beat her two girls. I punished my son until I think the last time he was around 5. But that's how hard it took me, because I wanted to break that cycle of my mom beating me for everything. And she used to beat us with wire.
Yeah,
I remember, and that doesn't, I just want to tell
It doesn't help, man.
the parents out there,
It doesn't.
coming from my experience, that did not help me.
No.
I'll give you just a fast little story. My mom tell us not to go on the road. She didn't want us to talk to the neighbors because she's not talking to the neighbors. That is so wrong for parents to do, because you have an argument or misunderstanding with somebody, so your children have to not say
Dragged
hello
in
to
it,
them.
yeah.
And then we're like, oh, let's go to the mango, the guava tree. But we have to cross the road. We have to break the rule to get to that guava tree. So the whole day passed and we didn't. We say, oh, if we went, maybe we would have gone and come back. So we went. As soon as we step on the road, our mother come in. My brother and sister run back. But I just want to tell parents, like, it doesn't work for all children. My brother and my sister went back. My mother beat them with wire. And I continued, and I sat on that guava tree, and I ate and I ate, and I can hear my brother and my sister crying, why are you, mommy? Why are you, mommy?
Wow.
I sat there, I eat, and when I finished, I'm like, okay, let me go for my legs.
They will terrorists.
That didn't help me at all, right?
Yeah.
And one thing that I noticed as a child, I don't know what I've learned, is that they said that was the way that I something I had to use to survive. My mother beating me did not hurt me. And I refused to cry to her because I didn't think she deserved my tears.
You numb out.
So-
You numb out, yes.
So we are parents. We need to really understand. And Andre said something that the self-esteem, the parents say so many negative things. And Andre had a program about Mother's Day. And I was thinking about, what about the mothers out there, the ladies that had mothers that did not have, all those good, money did not grow on tree and all those things, but negative things. Like, those parents now, or children that become parents, need to know that they can survive and it can happen. So Andre, to answer your question, yes, but I had to work hard. I had to go to discipline class. I had to learn how to discipline my children and my daughter. I never beat her, but then I also had to tell my son that, because he saw it as I love my daughter more, and I do believe parents do love another child more. But in that situation, I'm saying that, no, I'm a better person. I'm a better parent now. I am better now than when I had you. So,
Well,
Andre, yes.
It sounds to me like you're proactive. You're proactive, and you're doing things to become a better parent. The question is whether most parents take that route. That's the thing. Yeah.
Most parents don't have the facilities.
The resources, yes.
Most of us don't have the resources. We don't have the places to go. We don't have that, and we don't have that knowledge. But also another thing that we need to want the change. We need to break that cycle of, we do not want to repeat what we were taught, instead of saying, that's what I knew. That's what I was. That's how I was raised.
Awareness.
So we need to break that cycle for our other generation.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. We have another call. Good morning. Hello.
Yes, hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Yes, good morning to you all. Yes, I love your song, I love it.
Thank you,
Okay,
sir.
first to begin with. Yes. Imagine I tried to be the first to call. I wanted to call before thanks for taking my call. To say, I think parents are listening. They're just so, some of us are feeling so guilty we can't call. Because this topic is so hot this morning, honestly. It is so to the heart. You know, because I today am 63 years. I could say I'm 63 years, and my father first told me he loved me at a 1,000-man match, St. Lucia. That's the very first time my father said to me, "Love me," and he cried. I cried. Very first time I heard from, but I know he loved me, but he never said it. I promised myself, you know, I tell my kids I love them all the time. I kiss my boys, I kiss my girls, you know, and I tell them I love them because I do not want that cycle, you know, to have continued. Because I wanted when they have their kids, so they could tell the kids it, and praise God, I could say I did a good job. Okay? I did a good job. I could pat myself on the back. My sons, especially my sons,
So, cuz, let me ask you, how old were you when he told you that he loved you? How old were you?
I think I must have been about 40. I don't know if you can remember the first
Of course,
1,000-man match
of
we
course.
had.
Yes, I was there.
That was the first time.
Wow, imagine
I
that.
guess after he heard the speeches when people spoke, he held me and he told me so.
You see?
And I'm telling you that right now, I'm saying it and I'm still getting goosebumps, you know. I could still remember that day. You know? Just imagine your father could not say I love you to you. And some parents have never said it to their kids, you know.
That's right,
Some
exactly.
kids have left their
Never heard
parents home and
that.
they've never heard it from their parents. I love you. They think if I say I love you to my child, I'm stooping down to the kid, you know. What does it take off? Just tell the kid, I love you. When it comes to say, what the hell, you say, what the hell?
Yep.
But tell your kid, I love you. At least you send them to school. Before they leave in the morning, give them a kiss or a hug. I love you. Be good today. What would that take off you? Some of us just have that pride. And honestly, people, that program this morning, that is so sweet.
Thank you, man.
Wonderful.
Thank you,
Oh,
guys.
and Shamark, again, honestly, Shamark, I love when you put your 2 cents. You don't put your 2 cents, you put your 25 cents. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye,
Thank
take
you.
care.
All right, let's
But-
take another call. We have another call.
Sure.
Good morning. Thanks for holding. Good morning.
Good morning, a pleasant good morning to each and every one of you.
Good morning,
Radio
Hey.
Land,
sir.
Morning,
Rev-Up
Anthony.
Slu family. Good morning, good morning. How you folks doing today?
Good, good.
Now, I have a revelation. I don't have a story, I have a revelation, meaning that it's to be continued. St. Lucia, I need you all to take a page of certain things that happened to me whilst growing up as a little boy. Why it happened to me is because I think it's me alone it could happen to, and then forgive my parents. Nikki, Shamark, Andre, before we begin, I think we need to forgive our parents, because I'm sure most of them didn't know exactly how to move forward, and they inherit certain things from their ancestors.
I
Okay?
agree to that.
Because if we don't, I have a heavy heart right now. If we don't, we're gonna hold that, against them, and while they deteriorate, grows into age, we're gonna not visit them. Don't be nice to them and just say bad things about them. I'll tell you why. Because imagine, I'm saying this is like I just have to be somebody like me that doesn't tear up, but all these things everybody talked about, the previous callers, they were referring to me.
Wow.
The beating with the tamarind branches, the wire from the electrical wires, okay?
Yeah.
Or when I saw my cousin kneel down, they put her to kneel down in the sun with a grate and 2 stones knocking, okay?
Oh.
And her knees on the grater. When I told my cousin, hey, what happened to you? It actually happened to me too. So I could tell you, it is a very, very hard pill to swallow, that you just have to accept these things. And as Shamark said earlier, they have different form of love. And let me tell you something. You see, as much as our parents never tell us, not parents, but me, my parent, my mother in particular, never told me or us she loves us. They used to show it by coming from school, make a little squash. At that time, squash is bread. You understand, 10 cents, 15 cents, and you get food when you come back from school. It's raining, they will take their jupon and put it over your head. You understand? They would actually mend you differently, but they will not say it, I love you, I love you. I never get that. Okay? Never. Now, with me taking that, growing up as a man today, moving forward, I have to take the positive from these things that happened to me and pass it on to my children. And why I'm saying this is because I used to get beaten for speaking the truth. So they didn't have the wisdom to tell the child, listen, because you speak the truth, I will spare you. So the others will look upon him or her and say, you know what? Once you speak the truth, you see what happened? You've been spared. No, we don't pray. You don't pray. I said that we don't pray, mommy. The others, the adults will say that. My siblings will say that we pray. And guess what? When she get to know that the children are lying and I speak the truth, I'll be the first one to get beaten. Now, that it didn't finish there, quickly. When I grow up, coming up from that, you remember I have children now. So I not almost, I'll be frank with you, it happened that a day I was disciplining my son, the eldest one, Andre, the one that's the DJ Mikey. And guess what? At the end of the day, I took that same thing, my mother and my father, and I passed it on, and I whooped the boy.
Wow.
I whooped him. But guess what? When I did that, Shamark, I hear you saying, wow, yeah, it's a wow, it's a big wow. When I reach at work, it's on my mind. Anthony, you saw that. You saw that from your mother and your father beating you and you pass it on. You know what I did? I was saying that to a colleague of mine at the time. I used to work at Standards Grand at the time. And I say that, you know what? I need to apologize to my son. She said, why? Yeah, because I beat the boy with the electrical thing there. It's true I didn't give him a lot, but at least I saw that. So it tells you, okay, I could confess to tell you, yes, I did it. How many of us could call and say we did it, and then we know better, and then we move on, we apologize, and we do what we have to do, we make the adjustments. We don't. We stick with it.
And I think when you apologize to a child, they respect you and they look at you differently.
Thank you, Mr. Leon. Yeah. Thank you. You know why? At the end of the day, when I say to my colleagues, I need to apologize to my son, and I told her why, she tell me, but you beat your son, you tell me. I said, no, they are human beings. Okay? And I think I did wrong. So when I went home, I apologized. I called him and I apologized to him. And I hug him, to let him know that I love him. And guess what? This boy you see there, he probably would not, because he's a loving boy, he would not hold that me responsible for that. The same way I didn't hold my parents responsible. They just didn't know better. But guess what? This man is like a brother to me. He have his family, and he's yes daddy, no daddy, he's yes daddy, and that is what it is. He trusts me by his cash, his whatever it is. He calls me, speak to me, and he said, but daddy, you're different. You're much calmer than my mommy. When you speak to me, but already, mothers like to make their point, shout, and sometimes you just can't get away from that. But at the end of the day, I could tell you my true story. Now, quickly, when I was 19, I got beaten at the age of 19 for what? For doing something good. My at the time, my aunt had a bank account holding for me, and then I'm taking lessons at the CCSS, and I'm working at the time Latok. Sandals. Latok is said, not Sandals. And guess what? At the end of the day, I opened a new account. Andre Shamark, Nikki, who asked me to do that? My auntie get to know in the morning, she take a broomstick and start beating me. And I wondered, but I asking questions, what did I do? Guess what? Because I opened a new bank account and I didn't tell her. I
was just about to say the same thing.
You see where that coming from?
Yes.
So Shamark, you see where that coming from? Nikki, you see that, Andre?
Control.
You see where that coming from? Yeah, because it's not something bad I did. Nikki, they inherited that from their ancestors. That is why we have to forgive them.
We have to break it.
And if we have break the stigma, that's true. And if we don't do it, we will hold, as I said, as they crumble with age, we will stay away from it. Andre, listen, y'all don't even know. I was a poor little boy. So the things I couldn't have, just like Andre said that when he saw the people on the television having grapes and everything, he wanted to have that when he grew up. There's certain thing I wanted to have. Oh yeah, Panda, I remember you saying that.
It's true.
Pharaoh and them having grapes.
Yes.
So I'm telling you, there's certain things that happen to me. I'm going to drop it. But once my son speaks the truth, or my children, listen, don't do it again. And then you hug them and show them you love them. Yeah. That is the way forward, people. People, let's do it. Yeah. Admit you were wrong. You beat your child. You apologize like I did. And then let's move forward. It takes nothing of you to apologize to your children, Nikki, okay?
I think it's very strong, and I think if parents do that,
Okay, Anthony, thank you very much.
Wonderful for calling.
And it's true, it really was not a wise thing to do, to beat your children for telling you the truth.
But Andre,
so imagine
yeah, but they tell you say the truth and they still beat you.
for
But the
it.
caller talking
So-
about why and what about Balapot? These all little wooden house, I tell you, get in Balapot, my G, how are you, Quiz Cup? And you, they beating you and they tell you, don't cry.
Yes. I'll tell
That's
you
why as
what,
an adult, I used to say, if I did not know, I would think my mother did not like me and she hate me. But guess what? When I started cross-dressing and stuff, my mother was my biggest supporter. When she moved to St. Croix, she had my drag photos showing everybody. But it's just that she did not know better. So as you get better, but I'm just saying, if parents do what the last caller just said, I think we're going to get better men and women in society. They'll be more loving. They'll be more understanding. If somebody step on your foot and they say sorry, you'll say, yeah, man, and move along and not say, I say you disrespect me there and then create a big fight. Because if we have to do a survey, most of these fights and persons that sitting at borderline now is over petty stuff that could have been resolved by saying, yes, I'm sorry, yeah, man, don't do that again or something like that.
And Nikki and Shamark, there's a danger in us punishing our children, right? Especially where beating is concerned. When they tell us the truth, they admit it. Because what happens that if the child now in the future wants to tell you the truth again, he or she wouldn't tell you the truth because I'm going to get beaten if I tell the truth, which is creating a real problem there.
That is exactly what happens. You know what they say? They say, okay, you know what, you beat me. They don't vocalize it, they say it mentally. Okay, you beat me for telling the truth, I'll just continue to lie.
Yes, and then you
Also-
have a child becoming what they call a pathological
Yes.
liar. Everything is a lie,
Yes.
a lie, a lie.
Also,
Because they associate the truth with punishment.
one thing I remember I used to do is when my mom beat me, I could not vocalize how pissed off I was on her. I could not vocalize what I wanted to do, okay, because she beat me. So what I would do is I would bang my head against the wall. And I would hold in a lot of anger.
Wow.
And I can tell people licks, I don't care. It just doesn't help.
No.
It just doesn't. I believe speaking to the child is a lot more effective, right? And what I did also is, on several occasions, I told my two daughters, listen to me. You all are not the problem, okay? Never think for 1 second that you are the problem. I have some things that were not resolved and stuff, so I behaved in certain ways. I told them that. I didn't hide it. I let them know, and I told them, if I could go back, there are certain things I would not do. I think that parents think that, they're too big and mighty to talk to the children like that, and that sucks.
But I wish we had more time
Yes,
to continue
indeed.
because we have to. And imagine we didn't get to meet
We haven't touched
this
anything
issue
yet,
here of the ability or the inability to empathize. This
We
is a
haven't touched
huge
it.
one, a huge one.
Maybe
So
we need to continue.
maybe I think we should probably have that as a separate program.
Yes.
Okay, because
yes.
this is extremely important. Because that's what explain the behavior of people just being able to out 2-3 people one time,
Yes.
shoot at these 3
Cold,
individuals and kill them like it's nothing. No, this is important. So Nikki, we'll talk
Yes,
about that.
we'll have to, yes.
So Shamark, thank you as always, Shamark. You seem to be having a very, very powerful impact on many of our listeners
Oh, yes.
and viewers. So
Indeed.
bravo to you, Shamark.
Indeed.
Bravo to you. And Nikki, bravo to you as well.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, especially your new song.
Andre,
All right.
Have a
Okay.
wonderful
So
day,
thank you very
everyone.
much. Until next week,
Welcome.
Tuesday, God willing,
Bye-bye.
for another Love Zone. Okay, those of you on Facebook, on X, and also on YouTube, we'll just take a little break and get back to you in just a moment to bring you our drive.